Hello, Sarah Lieb Crochet here, guest vlogging at the Hook and Hut. Once again, I'm upstairs because we're going to take a little different direction today. We're going to talk about exercises that have to do with crochet. Woo! So let me go over here to my sofa. I know I'm a little bit far away. Don't worry, I'm not going to stay here for long. I'm going to make sure that my shoes are not tied nice and tight. Good. Now, since we're talking exercise, all standard disclaimers apply. Speak to your doctor before starting any exercise program. Work within your comfort zone. You are exercising with me today at your own risk. Okay? So I'm here to answer the question. You're crocheting. Look, I got some nice extra bulky yarn. I got a gigantic hook here. I'm crocheting away, enjoying myself, and all of a sudden, my hook has fallen to the floor. What am I going to do? I can't continue crocheting until I retrieve my hook. So this video is all about what are you going to do when your hook falls on the floor. Okay, step one. Can I safely retrieve my hook from the floor? The most important word in the words fall prevention is, of course, prevention. So if I can't safely in any way retrieve my hook from the floor without falling or injuring myself, I leave it right there. And I call somebody, I call a spouse or a caregiver or a child or somebody to come and retrieve that hook for me. There is absolutely no ego in fall prevention whatsoever. There's only doing what we have to do to stay safe and take care of our health. So if I can't get that hook off the floor, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it right there until someone else can get it for me. I'm definitely not going to do this. Stand up. Ooh, ooh, oh, ooh. I'm not doing that. You know what else I'm not doing? I'm not reaching with my foot and then falling to the floor. Safely leaving it on the floor. Okay, but what if I can get down on the floor and get it? Now, if you could, then you should. It's very important to always do things that are within your level of mobility so that level of mobility stays right where it is or goes up and does not decrease. So what we're going to do is first we're going to talk about getting down to get the hook, and then we're going to talk about getting back up. Okay, so what do we need to get the hook? First thing we need is a stabilizing object. Okay, so what is well, when it comes to a stabilizing object, we have to use our good common sense. Okay, a stabilizing object is obviously something that is not going to move. So a good candidate for a stabilizing object is obviously the sofa. Now we have to make sure, see if I lean here where there's just cushion, I'm going to fall right down. So somewhere where it's very firm and is not going to move. What's not a good stabilizing object? Well, I've got this little table over here. You can't see it, but it's about to just fall apart just from me staring at it and breathing. That shouldn't even be in your house. That's not a good stabilizing object. So I can get down on the floor using this sofa. Now you say to me, okay, but Sarah, my stabilizing object is over here and my hook is way over there. Great question. You can either use the sofa to get down and then crawl to the hook, or you can bring a stabilizing object like a good chair close. Okay, so what are we going to do? First thing we want to do is we're going to move our hook out of the way from where we're going to be getting down on the floor. Okay? So that way, as few variables to worry about as possible. So, nice, strong, sturdy chair that I have here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place one hand on the chair. Okay? Now, whenever I exert myself during either getting up, getting down on the floor, or getting up, I want to give a big exhale. Now, the easiest way to do that is to go like this. Psh! May sound ridiculous, but it works, it engages the core, and it really does help. So here we go. Psh! Now, I'm going to, in one slow motion, there's no need to speed through this. I'm going to bring this knee down to the floor while I'm using the chair to stabilize myself. Okay? It may help to also place the opposite hand on this knee to also give me a little extra stability, and I'm going to very slowly go down to the floor. Shh. Okay, I gave a big exhale. Now I'm on the floor. Okay, so now without releasing my stabilizing object, I'm going to bring this other knee down. Okay, so here I am. I'm on my two knees. I'm going to reach behind myself very carefully, slowly. I'm not going to fall onto this wrist. That would hurt. I'm going to very slowly come down here, and I'm going to fall over onto my tush. Okay, so now here I am on the floor, and I can retrieve my hook. Now what do I want to do with it? I want to either place it on the sofa or my other stabilizing object, get it off the floor, but we are not going to have it in our hand while we're getting up, okay? We want to have as few variables as possible. Whew! Now, take a second, equalize your breathing. If you're talking as much as I am, take a minute, center yourself. Now, just for argument's sake, move this out of the way. Since we're already on the floor, let's go all the way. Let's go all the way down to the floor. Now, what if I'm on the floor, but I didn't plan to be on the floor? I end up here because, you know, God forbid, I have fallen. And I'm not going to say it because there's nothing funny about I've fallen and I can't get up. So I've fallen, I'm on the floor. So first thing I want to do, if we find ourselves on the floor when we didn't plan to be here, we're probably got a pretty good scare. So we're going to just take a second and breathe. And consciously tune into your heart rate. Slow your breathing and your heart rate down. Okay? Don't panic. Now the second thing we want to do is we find ourselves on the floor is to take a self-assessment from head to toe. What hurts? Think to myself, did I fall from a high, was I standing up and fell hard, or did I sort of tumble to the ground? Take a second and really just assess, how are you feeling? Did you hit your head? If you have any doubts, about your ability to stand up, this is the time that you're going to call for help. Hopefully you have your cell phone in your pocket or clipped to your belt, or you have some sort of emergency device, okay? Prevention, thinking ahead. If you don't regularly carry something that with you, today is the day to start doing it, okay? But I've taken my self-assessment. I've decided that I'm all right, everything's okay, and I'm ready to get off the floor. Now, we're not going to rush doing this. We're going to go slow, and we're going to exhale with every exertion. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to take my dominant hand, and I want to place it out to the side. Okay, so it's right next to me at a 90-degree angle. Breathing. And then I want to take the opposite leg, and I'm going to bend it. Okay, so far so good, right? Then I'm going to take this left hand, and I'm going to reach across my body. Now here comes the hard part. You're going to give a big exhale, and you're going to roll onto your side. Now if you don't get this on the first try, that's okay. Go slow, try it again. Okay, so here we go. Okay, I've rolled onto my side. Now, I'm going to bring my knees up. Now, at this point, you're breathing hard from exertion. Take a second, calm yourself down. Everything's okay. This is going to work. We're going to get up off the floor. Okay? Now, I want to bring my knees up to my chest, or as close as I can. If you've got stomach in the way, okay, you're just going to do the best you can. Now, we're all nice religious women here, but it's important. We're going to get our skirt out of the way so that our knees will make contact on the floor. Okay? So here we go. And next thing we know, we're going to take this hand and we're going to push up onto it, like so. Now that's a tough step also, I'm recognizing. So if it is, go slow if you've got to try more than one time. Okay? So now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to exhale and we're going to push ourselves to our hands and knees. Draw those abdominals in towards the spine with that exhale. Okay, so here we are. So what we're going to do is we can crawl over to our stabilizing object, which in this point is my chair. Okay, now I'm going to very slowly, one hand at a time, place my hands onto this chair. Okay, if I'm going to the sofa, I want to make sure a good portion of my body is on it. Breathe, relax. Now, again, double check that my knees are not blocked by my skirt, and I'm going to take my stronger leg, whichever leg that is for you, and for me it's the left, and I'm going to put it underneath me, okay? Foot flat on the floor. I'm going to push into that chair, and I'm going to bring my other foot up. Big exhale while I do this. Draw those abdominals in. Now at this point, I can either turn around and sit in my chair and rest, and say, phew, I'm off the floor, thank goodness. Or I can stand up, drawing those abdominals in tight, go back to the sofa, sit down, and pick up my work in progress. Hang on to that crochet hook. Okay, so what have we learned? Step one, make sure that we are able to get down on the floor. If we can't, we call for help. Step two, use a stabilizing object, one that doesn't wobble around, one that is not going to fail you. Step three, go down on a knee, carefully come down to the floor on your tush. Should you find yourself on the floor flat when you don't mean to, employ the reach and roll. over, like we demonstrated, to get back up. Okay? If you need a practical demonstration at your home on how to stand up or get down onto the floor, or you would like to do some exercises on fall prevention, things we can do to help the balance, then give me a message here, shoot me an email at mrslieb@yahoo.com, or if you're interested in crochet, check out my Etsy store, Sarah Lieb Crochet at Etsy, or the Hook and Hut, Johanna, of course. All right, well, thank you very much. This has been Sarah Lieb, guest vlogging at the Hook and Hut. Be safe.